All right, I know you're waiting for the next session, and I will make sure that you have to make no wait further. Allow me to quickly rope in and warmly welcome our session moderator who will be leading the session of, as you know, mobilizing your data with the Snowflake Data Cloud. We'll be joined as the moderator by Lalatendu Das, partner McKinsey and Company, who's going to be in conversation with the director SE India from Snowflake, Murad Wag. Well, it's over to the two gentlemen.
Hello and welcome to Economic Times Cloud Innovation Summit. With me today, I have Murad Wag, who leads the sales engineering team at Snowflake in India. Murad, welcome to this conversation.
Thanks, LD. Absolute pleasure being on the call with you.
Pleasure is all mine. So, Murad, I think you have been kind of meeting many senior leaders on data technology topics. Let me start by asking you, what are the key trends that you are seeing today in data architecture and management in general?
I think that's a great question to start off with. LD. One of the first topmost trends that we are seeing today in this space is really an open mindset to migrate to a modern data platform architecture. Organizations are really looking to break the shackles and get rid of what we call the technical debt when it comes to data. The focus is really on consumption rather than management of data. And cloud today is very quickly becoming the destination for that data platform for most organizations. We're seeing a lot of customers also opting for SaaS rather than get into a DIY kind of approach when it comes to data. So that's really one of the top trends that we are seeing. The other trend that we are consistently seeing across industries is that of breaking down these silos of data and getting data into one place for multiple workloads such as data engineering, data warehousing, data lakes, data science, and then look at ways to efficiently make this data available to stakeholders, right? And doing all of this in an operationally efficient way, but a very secure and a governed mechanism. So these are two trends that I believe we are seeing in the industry today.
Very interesting. Well, you talked about breaking down the silos of data, and that's one of the fundamental challenges many of technology leaders are facing. Now, when I speak to leaders across industry, Snowflake has got a lot of mind share. People aware of Snowflake, they are very keen to understand what Snowflake has to offer. So maybe can you talk a little bit about what are the aspects of Snowflake as a technology which sets it apart from competition?
Sure, and I'll try and divide this into three buckets, right? Or rather, three aspects that come to mind when it comes to differentiators and what is it that really customers like about Snowflake. The first one is the unique architecture. So this is an architecture that was developed for the cloud to take advantage of cloud scale. And there are some fundamental characteristics to this architecture. For example, compute and storage are completely decoupled. So you could scale this independent of each other depending on your requirement as a customer. Then there are unique compute engines that can be dedicated for specific tasks so that they do not interfere with each other or do not vie for those compute cycles when you're trying to run an ingestion job at the same time you're trying to run a complex analytical query. And then it lends itself very nicely to a pay per consumption kind of model. So it is truly a consumption model rather than a subscription model. The architecture builds in a lot of automation when it comes to data operations. So things like indexing, data vacuuming, typically stuff that a lot of DBAs do manually when they get data in and then make it analytically available. These are all aspects that are completely automated inside the architecture, right? So that's really one unique aspect of Snowflake, the architecture. The second one I'll call out as the multi-cloud presence, right? The ability to have a consistent experience across the top three hyperscalers across the globe, that's AWS, Azure, and GCP, lends itself a lot into organizations that start thinking and devising their cloud strategy, where they do not want to lock in, or in a particular region, they prefer a specific cloud and so on. But we also believe that it's not enough just to be multi-cloud. It's important to be cross-cloud aware. which means you should have the ability to start sharing data between one region of one cloud to another region in a completely different cloud. And because Snowflake is like an overlay on all of these different clouds, we provide that consistent experience across all of these different clouds, right? So that's the second domain, which is multi-cloud and cross-cloud, which is a differentiator. And the third one is this entire thing around the very unique ability to share data with other stakeholders. And I think as we move towards data democratization, data science, some of these aspects, the ability to share data with stakeholders and do it quickly without the traditional complexities that are associated with it is extremely important. And we believe that Snowflake does it in a very unique way. In fact, we've got something called a Snowflake data marketplace, which has got more than 900 data sets that are readily available for customers to consume. So that is what I will call out as differentiators. If you look at it, architecture, multi-cloud presence, and the ability to share data in a very unique way.
Very interesting, Murad, and I'm sure this is music to the ears of many CIOs and chief data architects. Technically, it definitely solves a lot of problems. But if I change the thinking a little bit now, let's think from a perspective of a business leader who is driving a business and thinking what are the different use cases that that we can probably enable to either impact the top line or bottom line. So in that context, maybe can you touch a little bit about what are the use cases typically organizations use Snowflake for? And secondly, in the context of India in particular, what are the industries where you're seeing relatively much more mature application of Snowflake as a platform and use cases around those?
Okay. So let me first talk about the workloads where we are seeing interest or the use cases where we are seeing interest, right? So definitely we are seeing an increased interest in workloads such as data science, data applications, and data sharing. In addition to what we call the traditional data use cases or workloads like data warehouses, data lakes, data engineering, those existed for quite some time. We're really good at data warehousing. That's where we started, and then evolved to also delivering data lake. But data science, data applications, data sharing, these are very unique use cases that are actively coming up. And let me provide a little bit of explanation, right? So today Snowflake provides real rich support for all of these workloads. If you look at it, data scientists, developers, they're very comfortable managing data with functional programming languages like Java, Scala, Python, and so on, instead of traditional SQL-based interaction with data. And we support running these codes or programming languages right inside our platform. So you don't have to take data out, process it with your code, and then put data back into the platform. Your code literally runs right next to your data, so it's far more efficient, right? The second aspect around this entire thing of data applications, we're seeing very active interest with ISVs looking to build data applications on top of Snowflake. And they like Snowflake because then they can focus on building the application, the logic, and all the intricacies of the application, and leave the heavy lifting of data to the Snowflake platform. So when they need data, when they need to store data, query data, all of that is referred back to Snowflake. And there's a very popular program called Powered by Snowflake that a lot of ISVs are trying to get onboarded on, right? So that really helps. And finally, data sharing, I covered a little bit of this before, but I think this is all about making data available to stakeholders really instantly and securely without having to move it. And customers love the fact that they have instant access to 900 plus data sets around weather, demographics, financial data, all of this available at their fingertips. It's all real time on the Snowflake data marketplace. You don't have to set up complex pipelines to access the data. It's all there, right? So those are the use cases where we see a lot of engagement happening. Now to your second question, in terms of the industry verticals, what are we seeing in India? The best part about the Snowflake Data Cloud is that it is equally relevant across industries, be it gaming, lending, media, government, fintech, all of those, right? Because when it comes to data and a robust modern platform to store data, Snowflake works really well across all of these industries. Now, and this is because today, if you look at it, most businesses really want to shift from being data aware to insights aware. They want to
Yeah.
derive that competitive edge really quickly using that modern data platform that allows them to focus on consumption rather than management of data, right? So we see customers really looking for that simplicity. Now, having said that, we are definitely seeing some interesting use cases pop up, right? From customer 360 to genomic data science to smart manufacturing, data clean rooms in the advertising and media space that are really data driven use cases. So Snowflake launched the Financial Services Cloud in September, and we also launched the Media Cloud in October. And this was done to bring together customers and businesses along with partners to deliver not just the platform, but content and accelerators for specific industry verticals.
Got it. Got it. Now that's interesting. And related to that, Murad, I think one of the things that always on top of mind for leaders, in particular in India, is the data security. Data security, data privacy, and regulations around that in India is kind of evolving, particularly in regulated industry like banking and insurance. There are additional considerations for some plans and data residency in India and consent management. So talk to us a little bit about how Snowflake kind of addresses these side of the architecture.
So we've been in conversations with a lot of CISOs, right? And one thing that we agree on with that entire community is being paranoid about data security and governance is a good thing. It is must, right? Because that's your data, those are your crown jewels, as we call them. So at Snowflake, we take this very seriously. We understand that regulated industries are trusting us to manage their data, right? The platform then has all the right levers when it comes to the security posture. In fact, security for us is built in as an architectural principle rather than a bolted on afterthought. And I'll give you some examples, right? For example, data at rest is encrypted by default. There's no option to switch it off. In fact, customers have the option to bring in their own key so that they control the encryption that happens. Data on the wire that flows into Snowflake or out of it using Snowflake provided connectors is always encrypted while it is moving, right? So you have that additional level of security. There's a very powerful role-based access control mechanism with what we call immutable logging. So anything that's done on the platform by different roles within the customer organization, that's all completely logged, and you can use these logs inside your SIEMs and so on and so forth, right? There's row level security, there's column level security, there's dynamic masking because there's data that is sensitive, there's PII data. You want to make sure that you don't expose it to stakeholders that don't need to see it or are not authorized to see it. You can have these masking policies. You posed a question around data residency. From a residency standpoint, Snowflake retains all the data within the hyperscaler region where we are hosted on, thus respecting the regulations around sovereignty of data. And the platform itself is certified to be PCI DSS, HIPAA compliant, depending on which industry you're operating in, right? For example, if you're handling card data, PCI DSS is relevant. You want to make sure that the platform that's hosting your data is certified for PCI DSS. Similarly, if you're in healthcare, there's HIPAA and so on. And there's a bunch of other security controls that we deliver to give you that peace of mind saying my data is secure.
Yeah, no, thanks. That's very comforting to hear. Just a continuation of that thought. Given the platform provides so much, and there is always a thinking about leaders and how much we spend, and Snowflake talks a bit about consumption-based pricing versus subscription-based pricing. And just talk a little bit about declutter this. What does it mean to a leader who is kind of subscribing to Snowflake? What does it mean from a billing or a monetary perspective?
Yes, in fact, I would say the pricing model is literally as elegant as the architecture, right? You simply end up paying for what you consume on the platform. There are no reservations, right? So if you consume, for example, X terabytes of storage, that's what you pay for. When it comes to compute engines, we call them virtual warehouses, right? They are available in different t-shirt sizes depending on how much horsepower you need. And it ranges from what we call extra small to 4XL and so on. That's like a single node with the ability to really scale up very quickly to 512 nodes, right? Now, what is important from a consumption standpoint is that these virtual warehouses or compute engines can be fired up at will. You just bring it on when you want it to do work, and these can be automatically suspended when they are not in use. So essentially, you end up paying for these virtual warehouses or compute engines only for the time that they were active, right down to the second. So it is a per second billing after the first minute, and you end up paying for that consumption. And we make this consumption really easy with credits that can be used for the compute usage. And we also help you estimate the usage based on the workloads, use cases, and so on. But the point to remember is that you end up paying for exactly what you consume on the platform, which is why we call it a consumption model as compared to a traditional subscription model where you agree upfront and there is reservation and hence there's associated discounting. So it's a very different, unique, and a relevant model when it comes to cloud scale.
Maybe my last question to you in this section. Now, if you look at India has now a very vibrant startup ecosystem. So maybe talk to us a little bit about what are the different ways startups can leverage Snowflake as a platform?
That's an interesting question because Snowflake has this program called Snowflake for Startups, right? And it actually provides startups with all the resources that they need to build and grow data intensive applications and products. They can take advantage of a bunch of things, including free Snowflake credits, architectural design consultation, co-marketing opportunities to build faster and to reach out to more customers. In fact, today there are hundreds of customers or startups that are already building applications in the Snowflake Data Cloud for a wide variety of use cases, including marketing automation, monitoring, observability, IoT-based machine learning, embedded analytics, and many more. And all you need to do is these two things, right? A, you've got to be associated with a venture capital firm. Information is available on our website. An accelerator or an incubator that is actually part of the Snowflake for Startups program. And then all you've got to do is use Snowflake to power a customer-facing data application. In India specifically, we found our engagements with startups to be really enriching from an experience standpoint. There's no legacy, there's no baggage. The velocity at which they operate and take decisions is really impressive. A lot of our engagements have been typical land and expand with startups across verticals such as fintech, logistics, utility aggregators, CRMs, and agrotechs.
Yeah, very interesting. Unfortunately, we are at the end of our allotted time, so Murad, we would have to end the conversation here. But very much appreciate your views here, and on behalf of the entire team, I thank you for taking the time out.
Thank you so much, LD. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. With that, we end this session.
Mr. Wag and Mr. Das, thank you very much for helping all of us in mobilizing our data with the Snowflake Data Cloud. So some very intriguing insights over there. I'm sure very, very useful. And with that, just allow me a bit, ladies and gentlemen. In the meanwhile, I'll just request you to visit the Software One booth in the Experience Zone to know more on the cloud modernization. We're just prepping up. We'll be right back on the screen with the next chat that's coming up.